Hello, and welcome back to Socialized Living. My name is Sosha, and today I'll be showing you how I created this easy and inexpensive DIY gallery wall consisting of 9 prints. The inspiration for this first piece was this script type canvas print, and for this I'm using the 7x14 canvases that I found at Walmart. I am finding the center point of the longest, the 14-inch side of the canvas, and I'm going to draw a line straight across. I'm also marking an inch above and an inch below that line to create the perfect writing line, kind of like we use in kindergarten to mark the boundaries of our upper and lowercase letters. The words I'm using for these canvas prints are femme and forte, which in French means strong woman. I adjust my words so that it's evenly spaced and centered on the canvas. Then I'm going to trace over it with an acrylic teal marker. I repeat the same process on the second canvas. Then I'm going to create the illusion of a frame by taping it off with some painter tape and creating a gold border. For this, I'll be using gold craft paint that I got from Walmart, relatively inexpensive. Whenever I'm using gold paint, I always use black as a base because gold tends to be translucent unless you have a highly pigmented gold, which may also be super expensive. And you'll need multiple coats to get the coverage you need. So I always start with black as base, that way I only apply 2 coats of gold and I'm all set. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and remove the painter's tape. You'll want to do this while it's still wet so it doesn't chip. For the next 2 pieces, I really wanted some line art. Now you probably noticed a $6 price tag on that artwork. That is the cost of a digital download, which means that you're purchasing it from an artist and they give you a digital file that you would then have to have printed and then put it in a frame before the final product is available to you. I was able to do this by sketching it out by myself, and it took me less than 3 minutes, and I didn't even have to get out of my jammies. Next, I'm tracing over it with a teal colored pencil, and we're done. This is the inspiration for this next piece. However, it's for my bedroom, so I wanted it to look like me. I'll be sketching what my hair looks like from behind in its naturally curly state. By the way, if you're interested in seeing how I dyed my hair teal, I will link that video in the description box below. I'm tracing over it with a colored pencil like I did before, and it's done. I'll be adding these 2 sketches to these cheap Ikea frames that I already had after I paint them gold. For the next 4 prints, I'll be creating some watercolor art. This first one is a zodiac print that I found on Pinterest. And no, don't freak out about the watercolors. This is the first time I was using it as well, and it was very easy. You'll need 2 containers of water for this. One to clean off your paintbrushes and another to wet your paper as well as dilute your paint. You'll also need watercolor specific paper. I bought a pad from Ocean State Job Lot for $5.99 as well as a small watercolor kit for $4.99. Wet the area that you're going to paint. In this case, I'm creating a circle. So once that's wet, I'm just going to apply the paint to it and either dilute it or build up the color until I get that nice variation. Once that dries, I'm going to draw the zodiac symbol for Cancer, which is a horizontal 69 with gold craft paint right over that circle I created. Then I'm going to trace over the word Cancer with some gold glitter glue. I'm also drawing the constellation for the sign of Cancer with a gold acrylic marker inside of the pink circle, and then I'm sprinkling some diluted pink watercolor all over the sheet to create some visual interest. This next print is fairly easy as well. It's literally 3 angled horizontal brush strokes with vertical squiggly lines. This is the same technique as before. You're gonna wet the area that you want to color. Here I'm applying more of a diluted first coat. Then I've dried off the brush some, and then using the same paint but without applying any water this time, I'm creating that textured layer. The reason I'm using watercolor instead of acrylic for this is because it creates a translucent effect where you can see the previous color painted underneath your current color. And lastly, I'm going in with a gold acrylic marker and randomly drawing vertical squiggly lines. This next piece is even simpler than the last. This time we're using one color and creating one brush stroke on an angle across the page. Next, I'm marking a 1/4 inch from the top and bottom of the center of the page so I can create an area where my design will lay. I'm cutting out a template that I'll use to trace overlapping squares on an angle with my gold metallic marker. For this last piece, there was really no rhyme or reason. I just started painting and used different variations of blue and green and built up the colors, created some circular patterns until I was content. And finally, I went in with the gold marker to emphasize sort of the areas with darker shades of teal, as well as to tie this piece in with the other 3 watercolors. I'll be adding these 4 watercolor pieces to these cheap poster frames from Walmart after I paint them gold. For this last piece, I'm doing a Beauty and the Beast inspired quote on canvas, and I'm adding this rose in the background for visual interest. I did freehand this, however, if you don't know how to draw, you can always print out an online image and transfer it to your canvas using the following technique. Using a graphite pencil, evenly cover the back side of your desired image. Place the image right side up over your canvas and position to your liking. Then trace it, applying moderate pressure. I'm filling in the entire rose with this light shade of pink, then going in with a darker shade of pink and tracing all the lines to give it a subtle pop. For this next part, you have several different options. You could use a stencil or poster letter stickers. I chose to just find the center of the canvas and drew some really faint lines and handwrite the quote. To write the phrase, I'm actually making each letter about an inch wide, and I'm just going to use my ruler to do this. Just placing it right underneath that faint line I drew, kind of write the letters within the boundaries of each inch mark. You'll notice that I made a mistake here, and I didn't leave a space between each line, so the letters kind of infringed on the next line, and it did seem a little bit of a blur. I'm going to trace the letters with the gold metallic marker and go over that with some gold glitter glue. The last step is to tape off and paint a gold border around the canvas to create the illusion of a frame, just like we did in the first 2 canvases. And this is the final result. What do you think of our gallery wall? I'm absolutely in love with it. I think it definitely made an impact. Obviously, you can customize yours to your liking using the colors that match your color palette, and also prints that are of interest to you. You can also choose words and quotes that mean something to you or that are aspirational. I chose mostly a beauty, sometimes a beast. I'm thrilled to wake up every single morning and look at this and see not only different elements that speak to me, but also that is visually appealing. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and also click on the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. See you in the next one. Bye!